Welcome back to Science class students. Today we are going to see Unit 13 Structural Organization of Animals. Under the topic, let's discuss about rabbit. The scientific name of rabbit is Oryctolagus cuniculus. Oryctolagus is nothing but the genus name. Cuniculus is the species name. Always, while writing the scientific name, the first word is genus and second word is species. Also remember, while writing, the first letter alone should be in capital. Remaining all the letters, even though while writing the species name, it should be only in small letter. So only one letter should be in caps, that is the first letter. And then you have to underline both the genus as well as species name. So this is how you have to write the scientific name. So what's the scientific name of rabbit? Oryctolagus cuniculus. Now let's see the taxonomic position of rabbit. Phylum Chordata, subphylum Vertebrata. Vertebrata means you know. That is the organisms which have got backbone are all coming under Vertebrata group. And then class Mammalia. It's a mammal, right? So it's coming under Mammalia. Order Lagomorpha. Lagomorpha. Genus Oryctolagus. Species Cuniculus. Next, let's see habit and habitat of rabbit. Rabbits are gentle and timid animal. Very soft as well as timid means shy in nature. It makes a leaping movement. You know, a leaping means jumping movement. Where does it live? It lives in burrows. Burrows means underground tunnels, or even you can say it as warrens. It is found throughout the world and it's a herbivorous animal. It eats only vegetables. That is, it feeds on grass, turnip, carrot and lettuce. It's a gregarious animal. Why? It always moves in group. Group in the sense colonies. Next, let's see the external morphology of rabbit. The shape is elongated and cylindrical body. The size, the matured rabbit will be more or less equal to this size. That is length 45 centimeter, weight 2.25 kg. And the male as well as female are of same size. Next, coloration. It varies in color. It may be white or black or both white and black mixed. And the body is fully covered with the fur. So this fur keeps the normal body temperature for the rabbit. Next, let's see the body division. So the body of the rabbit is divisible into head, neck, trunk and tail. First, let's see about the head. The head part is ovoid in shape, that is oval in shape. Ovoid in shape and flattened. And it has got snout. Snout means mouth and nose together, we say it is snout. And it is tourniquet. Tourniquet means not sharp, it's blunt. This area is not sharp, it is blunt. So that it is said to be tourniquet. Mouth has got transverse slit. Transverse slit means a mild opening, or you can say it is cut. Upper and lower lip is there, no? There, that opening is what is represented here as slit. And the nostrils. Nostrils are external nares. We can see the nostril here in this picture. Where is it present? It is just above the mouth. So I told you, there is a transverse slit, that is opening in the mouth. Above the mouth only this nostril is present. And then vibrissae or tactile hairs. Tactile hairs, where it is present outwards from each side of the upper lip. You can notice the hair here. Okay, this is vibrissae. Next, external ear. Ear is a highlight for rabbit. It has got long ear. A pair of ears rabbit has. Large and movable ear. Where it is present? On the top of the head. Next, neck part. Neck only connects the head and the trunk part. So this neck helps in the movement of the head. And next, trunk part. Trunk part is nothing but the body part. Anterior part has got a thorax. Anterior means upper part. The upper part has got thorax. And posterior, that is lower part, has got the abdomen. Right? The anterior means the upper part, it has got thorax. And posterior part has got abdomen. And you can notice the limbs here. There are two pairs of limbs. Two pairs of four limbs. Two pairs of four limbs which are shorter while comparing to the hind limb. This hind limb is longer, forelimb is shorter. Okay, and it is pentadactyl limbs. It has got penta means 5. Pentadactyl limbs. Pentadactyl limbs means it has got 5 fingers. And all the digits, that is all the digits has got claws. That is, all the fingers have got claws in it. Claws means curved nails it has got. And then anus. Anus, it's an area through which the excreta will be pushed out. So the abdomen, starting from the abdomen, is present where? In the posterior end, that is lower end, below the tail part. At the basal part of the tail, what is present? Anus is present. It is a part of abdomen. In females, 4 to 5 teats or nipples are present. So the nipple is helpful in feeding process, right? So the nipples is area. 4 to 5 teats or nipple. 4 to 5 nipples are present in only for the females. It is present in the ventral surface. And then it is present between the thorax and the abdomen. This area between the thorax and the abdomen, and also in the ventral surface, that is in the lower surface, what is present? 4 to 5 nipples are present. And for male, in the ventral side of the anus, penis or a pair of testes are present. A pair of so for nipples are present for the female, and here instead of nipple, testes are present for the a male. The penis is present along with the pair of testes. This testis is located inside the scrotal sac. Right? And next, tail part. The tail is short and it uses the tail to give signals. In case of danger, it gives signals with the help of tail. And next, integument. Integument is nothing but skin. The outer covering of the body is made of skin, is what we say it is integument. It is what? Skin. The skin has got hairs, claws, so the skin has got fur all over it. Already I told you, it has got, it gives the protection to the rabbit. It keeps the body warm for the rabbit. So for what are the structures derived? Rabbit has got hairs, claws, and then nails, that is curved nails, as well as it has got glands. About glands we didn't discuss so far. Glands, it has got sweat gland and sebaceous gland as well as mammary gland. Sweat glands and sebaceous glands are present inside the skin. It can regulate the normal body temperature. And then mammary gland, mammary gland is modified gland of skin. This is helpful for secreting the milk. For nourishing the young one, for feeding the young one, milk is required. So that milk secretion is done with the help of mammary gland. Next, we'll see the coelom. coelom, or otherwise said to be the body cavity. So what is coelom? The body cavity is coelom. Already you have learnt about the coelom in 9th standard. So here the space between the body wall and the alimentary canal is the coelom. So this is the body wall and alimentary canal will be present inside, and there is a gap in between, right? The space in between is called as coelom. So it is an coelomate animal. So rabbit is an coelomate animal. And what about the thoracic cavity? The anterior part is what? Thorax region. And this anterior part has got lungs. This is lungs. Okay, lungs and the heart. Lungs and the heart are present in the thorax part. And then posterior part, that is lower part, has got abdominal cavity. This is abdominal cavity. And here digestive system and urinogenital system, urinogenital system and digestive system are present in this abdominal cavity. And then you should know about the diaphragm. Diaphragm is what? Below the lung area, diaphragm will be present. It is the muscular, it is made up of muscle, and it is a transverse partition. So diaphragm will be present here. There is a partition between this thoracic cavity and the abdominal area. What is present in between? Diaphragm. So this diaphragm only separates the thoracic cavity and the abdominal cavity. So this is the main characteristic of mammals. So this diaphragm helps in all kind of breathing movement. Okay. So the trunk part, that is the body part, is the trunk part. The trunk part of the rabbit has got thorax and the abdomen. So this is thorax and this is the abdomen. And next, let's see about the digestive system of rabbit. So the digestive system starts from the mouth, ends in the anus. So mouth is what? A transverse slit, upper lip and lower lip. That is the opening of the mouth. That is the transverse slit. That is cut or opening for the mouth is transverse slit. So alimentary canal starts with the mouth. And then buccal cavity. Buccal cavity is what? It's a opening of the mouth. When mouth is opened, there is a space inside, right? That is called as buccal cavity. And buccal cavity has got a muscular tongue, jaws, has got teeth. Okay, upper jaw and lower jaw is there, and teeth is available inside the buccal cavity. And next comes pharynx. And following the pharynx, esophagus. Esophagus is the food pipe, right? This you can see here, the food pipe, a long food pipe. And then that leads to the stomach. See, this is the stomach part. And stomach leads to the small intestine. See, can you see the long tube here? So this is the small intestine. And then that leads to cecum. So where is cecum? This is the cecum. This part is cecum. Okay, there is a speciality in this cecum. Proteins, simple sugar, amino acids are supplied by the cecum to the food. Right? And then following that, what is there? Large intestine. So this is the large intestine. Okay, and that leads to the rectum, and finally final opening is what? Anus. This is the alimentary canal. So starting with the mouth, then buccal cavity, pharynx, esophagus, then stomach, then small intestine, and in between small intestine and large intestine there is cecum, and then finally rectum, and then to the anus. This is the alimentary canal. And for the digestion process, few more associated digestive glands are there. Digestive glands, associated glands means supportive glands are there. What are they? Salivary gland, gastric gland, liver, pancreas. You can see this yellow color part is pancreas. This red color part, this is liver. And then intestinal glands are there in the intestine, and then these are all coming under the associated digestive glands. And what about the secretions? It secretes many enzymes, whatever is required, gastric glands, salivary glands, intestinal glands do various kind of secretions which are very much helpful in the process of digestion. And next, let's see about the dentition in rabbit. So, rabbit has got diphyodont dentition. Diphyodont dentition means the word di represents two. There are two sets of teeth. What are the two sets of teeth? Milk teeth and permanent teeth. Milk teeth will be available only for the young ones, and that falls and permanent teeth will grow. It is for the adult. So, adult rabbit will have permanent teeth. And next, it has got heterodont dentition. Heterodont dentition means that all the teeth are of not same type. Different types of teeth are there. So, it is called as heterodont dentition. What are different types of teeth? Incisors, canines, premolars and molars. So, this is incisor, then premolar, molar. Canine is a type of teeth, but it is absent in the case of rabbit. So, it is called as diastema. The teeth arrangement for the rabbit is called as diastema. Why means canines are absent. So, there is a gap in between the incisor and the premolar. So, there is a large gap. Can you see? So, this gap is there for the rabbit. So, it is called as diastema. It is the herbivorous animal. It eats only the plant varieties, vegetable items. So, this diastema is really very helpful for chewing of food items. And next, let's see the dental formula. Okay, I will show you the simple method of remembering the dental formula. See, this represents the face. Okay, for calculating the dental formula, just remember half of the teeth alone you have to count. In both upper jaw and lower jaw, take only half set of teeth. So, see here, first I told you 4 sets of teeth are there. So, incisor, canines, premolars and molars. So, incisor, in upper jaw, how many teeth are there? Incisor teeth, 2 incisors are there. In lower jaw, only 1 incisor. See here, 2 incisors in the upper jaw and only 1 incisor in the lower jaw. Okay, this division symbol does not denote the division. It just shows you in the numerator upper jaw, denominator lower jaw, that's all. So, canines, here canines, no canines, so 0 bar 0. Premolars, upper jaw 3 are there, lower jaw only 2. And molar, upper jaw 3 and also lower jaw 3. So, totally it can be written as, all the numerator can be written together, 2, 0, 3, 3. This is for upper jaw. And this one, 1, 0, 2, 3. This is for lower jaw. So, upper jaw and lower jaw. These many number of teeth are there in the upper jaw and these many number of teeth are there in the lower jaw. Only half set of teeth I am telling you. So, just roughly count and tell me 6, 8. 8 bar 6. If you count the number of teeth, 8 bar 6. 8 bar 6 means how many are there? 14. Totally 14 number of teeth. If you double 14, 28 number of teeth will be there. So, the rabbit has got 28 number of teeth. Why? Canines are absent. Actually, we have 32 number of teeth, isn't it? We have canines, but the canine is absent for rabbit. So, 28 number of teeth is there. Just you remember this calculation alone. Dental formula means 2033 bar 1023. This is the formula for rabbit. And next, let's see respiratory system of rabbit. Rabbit has got pair of lungs. This lungs is made up of light spongy tissues. And this lungs is protected by double membrane called pleura. So, lungs is protected by double membrane. And where is this lungs present? In the thoracic cavity. So, the body part can be divided into two for rabbit. One is thoracic cavity and lower part is abdomen. Upper part is thoracic cavity, lower part is abdomen. So in the upper part only this lungs is present. So this thoracic cavity is bound by dorsally vertebral column. Dorsally means backside. Okay, backside is made of vertebral column. Front, that is ventrally, the sternum. Sternum is a flat bone. And laterally means sides. In the sides, ribs is present. So front, sternum is there. Back, vertebral column is there. In the sides, ribs is available. Around, so between this only, lungs is there. So lungs is protected by vertebral column, sternum as well as ribs. Right? So in between this only, lungs is present. And below the lungs, what is present? Diaphragm. Diaphragm is present in the lower side of the lungs. So already I told you this diaphragm only separates the thoracic cavity from the abdomen region. And this diaphragm is dome shaped. And next, path of air. How does the air enters into the lungs? So this is the pathway. The atmospheric air enters into the external nostrils or nares, that is nose part. Okay. Then it is moving inwards through the nasal passage, and then the air moves to the pharynx, and then through glottis it reaches the windpipe or trachea, this area only trachea, and then bronchi, okay, bronchi, and then when you go inwards to the lungs, this one, bronchioles. So bronchus divides into bronchioles, and each bronchioles have got alveoli. So it ends up with alveoli. Okay, and then the trachea, or this is the pathway of air. Okay, the next trachea or windpipe. Let's see about the windpipe. So this windpipe has got two branches. You can see the two branches. Two branches are called bronchi. And each bronchi is entering into lung. So bronchi is entering into lung. And inside the lung, further branching will take place. I told you, no, this is the bronchi. Just imagine this is the bronchi, and that branches into bronchioles, and that bronchioles ends up with alveoli. Can you see? This is alveoli. And then let's see about the tracheal wall. So this tracheal walls are made of rings of cartilage. Cartilage is what? A soft bone. So these rings of cartilage are very helpful in the passage of air. So the air passes through the trachea only, and that reaches the bronchi and moves inward through the bronchioles and then to the alveoli. In the alveoli only, exchange of gases will take place. Okay, and then voice box or larynx. Larynx. Let's see about the larynx. So this larynx is otherwise said to be voice box. Here this voice box vibrates and produces sound. So when we speak, sound is coming out, right? How is that sound coming out? The vibrations are produced inside this vocal cord or larynx or voice box. Okay, and that vibration only produces a sound. And you must know about epiglottis. Epiglottis is the protective region. So this epiglottis prevents the entry of food into the trachea. So the food, while eating the food should not enter into the windpipe. So that area is protected with the help of epiglottis. So when you are swallowing the food, the epiglottis will close the windpipe and then again it opens. So this epiglottis is very, very important. What is it doing? It is preventing the entry of food into the trachea. And then let's see the respiratory events. There are three events: inspiration, expiration, and an exchange of gases. Here you see inspiration is what? Breathing in. We take in the air, it is an active process. We take in oxygen, it is an active process. Then expiration is what? Breathing out. We exhale out the carbon dioxide. So inspiration is an active process and expiration is the passive process. And thereby exchange of gas takes place due to this inspiration and expiration. Exchange of gas is what? Oxygen is taken in and carbon dioxide is given out. With that, respiratory system is over. Thank you.